Live in a twilight world. Let's do another quick recording. Today I'm going to talk about film sets regarding illusion warfare. You know, I'm going to add it into the playlist I have, which is called Illusion Warfare Guide, where I'm just giving people kind of like a very brief explanation of illusion warfare and terminology. Now, I've put film sets in big and illusion zones in small. The main focus of this presentation is obviously going to be film sets, but you can't really talk about film sets without talking about illusion zones. You know, they go hand in hand, they go together. So, obviousat a later date, I'll do a whole video regarding illusion zones, okay? But yeah, man, you know, with the current kind of world stage event going on with, you know, the IDF taking on Hamas, Israel and Palestine, it's a good opportunity to, talk about it as it's kind of fresh on everyone's minds. It's kind of, hard to escape right now, the current narrative that's being pushed on everyone. So, man. So, the way I look at it is a film set you are not allowed on. You are not allowed on, yeah? Citizen journalists are not allowed on. Regular, everyday people are not allowed to go on there. But of course, actors, the camera crew, the news crews, of course, they're allowed on, but you are not. They will use the military and the police to, set up checkpoints around it, denying access to, like I said, regular people or any citizen journalists like myself. You will not be allowed on to the film set. Of course, this does not mean that the police and the military are in on it. They are simply following orders. They get told to set up a checkpoint there and not let anyone pass. That's it. That's all we need to know. They do not need to know that what is going on behind them is fiction and staged events. Nothing to do with them. That's why they're in the military, and that's why they're still in the military. They follow orders, they are obedient, okay? Then, of course, an illusion zone, they want you to walk around. This is where they want civilians to walk around. This will be full of props and, broken glass on the floor. And, of course, there will be military and police encouraging you to walk around, and most importantly, encouraging you to take selfies and document it, all for TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything, right? This would go under the category of what they call OSINT, open source intelligence, what they also call the TikTok war. Yeah, they want members of the public, the masses, to walk through these areas and take pictures next to the prop tank and so on, and then obviously send those videos, pictures and stuff to their friends and followers online. And that way it kind of bolsters the propaganda, as in, it's not coming from CNN, it's not coming from the BBC, it's coming from regular, everyday, Joe Normie and Jay Normie, your nan, your granddad, and all that kind of shit, right? Because, and as we move into the future, this is only going to get worse. This TikTok bullshit, OSINT, is going to get worse, right? The TikTok war is only going to get worse. So for people that don't buy into CNN, this covers them, right? Because they're going to say, well, all these people taking pictures next to a tank, they're not getting paid by CNN, are they? But obviously they're not. They're just, unfortunately, my friends, they are easily fooled, easily hypnotized. The masses are the masses, right? So let's go back to Israel and Palestine, and we're going to talk about the Supernova Festival of Peace, okay, which was here in Kibbutz Re'im, which happens to be 33 miles from the wall that separates Gaza and southern Israel. They love, these fuckers, they love their geomancy, and they love getting in their numerology, and it just so happens to be 3.3 miles, okay? That 33 in there again, okay? And the one I'm talking about, this is allegedly where a festival was happening, and allegedly Hamas paragliders came flying in and started shooting up the place, okay? with this very iconic tent. Yeah, this is the eyepiece, this tent. Now, interestingly, what they've done here is they've blacked out this wall here, because this is what you do at festivals, right? You stop people looking on certain parts, but we'll get into that later, yeah? You know, stopping what people can and can't see, right? But anyway, the Supernova Festival of Peace, yeah? This eye, by the way, this is a terrible blurry picture. Here's a better one. This eye, don't know, man, it's very much like, it was purple for a start, the colour of illusion, but it's got that kind of like Eye of Sauron kind of vibe, if you know what I'm talking about. Like the one we saw at Ground Zero, right? When there was that huge ritual of getting the people to make an eye around Ground Zero. The place of 9/11. The Eye of Sauron, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man. If you're asking me, I cannot prove this. Obviously, I'm not there. I can only give you my speculation. But this was a staged event, an illusion operation. Some might call it a false flag. I don't know if I like that term, because a false flag in my eyes has another meaning. I much prefer the term illusion operation, okay? Now, how many of these festival goers are genuine people, and how many were, say, I don't want to say actors, but, you know, acting the role, okay? Agents, undercover agents and operatives, right? You know, it's no secret that the Israeli military has conscription and there's a lot of young, attractive girls in the Israeli military. You know, there's a whole fan base online that likes to watch Israeli military girls twerking and whatnot. So would it be that hard to get, say, 50 of them, 100 of them that, say, work in the Israeli intelligence division to put on their festival costumes and go to here? Now, are 100% of these festival goers actors, agents? Don't know. 50%? Don't know. 10%? I reckon at least 10% were. Maybe 100%, I don't really know. But you basically need them, like the ringleaders, right? To get the regular members of the people that are not in on it to, you know, behave in a certain way. The ringleaders will kick off the choreographed theatre, right? And naturally, the unbeknownst people that are there genuinely will be so panicked they're just going to follow the crowd, which is being led by the undercover agents. Of course, right now, it is a closed-off film set where only the sellout, spineless propaganda, corporate news teams are allowed to go. They, of course, are now being given a guided tour of this crime scene, which is full of props. Like props, you know, guys walking around in costume. You've got the army guys walking around in their costumes, you know. Yeah, again, does the idiot kind of corporate journalist understand that he is just on a guided tour? I don't know, man. I mean, these guys just are all about the paycheck, right? When I was in the border town in Poland, the border town with Ukraine, about to head in, I met a lot of these guys, right? Especially the younger ones that are being sent there, right? And they were all too scared to go into Kiev. But, you know, you can tell that they are all kind of the sons and daughters of, like, plutocrats. You know, they come from rich, wealthy families. You know, the job of a journalist, news crew, the cameraman, the soundman, these jobs are, you know, set aside for the sons and daughters of the plutocracy. Yeah, the politicians and stuff. And they probably get 60 grand a year and they just have to turn up and do their little piece to camera and that's it, yeah? Like I said, yeah, you as a regular person or as a citizen journalist will not be allowed to just stroll around and do what he's doing, okay? And let's watch a video.
And they're yelling at people to get out of the area. You can see the soldiers, get down, lay down flat.
This is all a performance, okay? This is all an act. Allegedly, they're let onto this former crime scene, and allegedly members of Hamas are still, you know, running around. Of course, it's not true. This is all a performance for the cameras. Let's carry on watching.
Lay down totally flat. You can see things are very tense here. There were 2 gunshots, and now they have someone on the ground.
Go back right now.
Very tense right now, as these soldiers appear to be arresting a Palestinian man. They have him in handcuffs right now, and you can see they've blindfolded him, and they are taking him away.
That to me is just a fellow soldier or fellow actor just playing the role of the bad guy. They stripped him naked. They're going to take him around the corner, and the show will be over. But anyway,
you can see here they're leading him away. They've blindfolded this man, and
now look what they do here. This is like black sheeting, right? So a screen. They start pulling down the screen. They get everyone, the film crews, the other side of this screen, and they shut it off, man. That's it. You've had your performance for the day. You news crews, get out of here while we kind of rearrange the set and clean up our actors. You watch.
It appears they have captured yet another militant who entered from the Gaza Strip. It gives you a sense of just how unpredictable all of this is. They don't know where people are hiding, and they could still be in the tree lines.
It's all getting pulled down now. A blackout screen. Okay, you saw it. We'll just watch another quick one.
Each and every one of those cars had to be checked by forces and marked to see.
This, of course, is direct from the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Very much like we see in Ukraine, where they get a attractive kind of press officer who works for the military to start doing these kind of videos where they kind of like shed a tear. Yeah, man, let's watch.
That it wasn't booby-trapped by the terrorists who left them there. You see the car seat of the baby just left in here. I have no idea what happened to them. I can't imagine getting in the car trying to leave and just being shot at. There's the belt that they used with...
You might have just seen just then, but if you take a look at the background, okay, you'll see all the other news teams getting their guided tour where they're allowed to play in this little sandbox film set, okay?
The paragliders that they came in from Gaza, people are parked all over this festival, and explosions are still happening while the sun is setting, and it's getting dangerous to be here. So we're being moved out.
She's being moved out because you're not allowed to just stay on the film set. So anyway, let's look at a map now. That's where it took place. Raim. That's where the film set is. I imagine right now there are multiple film sets. I reckon Gaza City right now is probably a film set. I think Rafah, the border crossing with Egypt, I feel will be a movie set. Actually, maybe this will be an illusion zone. Film sets often, at a later date, become illusion zones where they kind of open it up for the easily fooled, easily hypnotized to go around. I never forget with Ukraine, there was a certain point they started letting all the they basically invited high-profile YouTubers to take the guided tour of all these bombed-up places in Ukraine. Okay, Ashkelon. Yeah, again, I'm not there. Possibly a small section of it is a film set, with the surrounding area being an illusion zone, and so on. Okay, they bombed Damascus airport up here. I imagine that now is a movie set. And of course, we saw this with Butcher and Irpin. Let me get the pen out for this one. Old Butcher and Irpin was a no-go zone for civilians. They shut off the roads. They blew up the bridge. At the time I was in Ukraine, in Kiev, during the Battle of Kiev, I could not get here. No locals could get me here. It was just impossible to get onto this film set, okay? It was just a no-go. Also, there was a certain section of central Kiev that was shut off with, military checkpoints, basically. stopping you go here. Now, this obviously was the area where you have like Freedom Square and stuff, where, of course, the BBC, CNN, those guys were allowed to do their piece to cameras all around there. But us regular members of regular members of the public and civilians were not. We were allowed to walk around the illusion zone here, which is full of props, you know, the smashed up cars, the anti-tank hedgehogs that were everywhere, blockades on roads. And of course, what they would do is they would, every kind of like hour, they would get, or maybe like once a day, they would get like a military jeep convoy to drive through, do like a lap to scare the shit out of the people. Yet again, those people driving them vehicles, those guys in the military, they are not in on the illusion. They are just following the orders. They, of course, are being told to do a patrol. Let's just do a patrol, man. Look out, you know, a patrol, a show of force. But really, you know, the masses that are heading there to the train station, they're seeing all of this. They're perceiving it as real. So yeah, man. Of course, in Irpin and Butcher, it later came out that the winners of the Eurovision Song Contest that year were in Irpin, which was apparently a war zone, and filming their video to go along with their song. Of course, they brought in their actors, and it was pretty much it was very clearly a film set.
We live in a twilight world and there are no friends at dusk.
That's from a previous video I recorded. But yeah, take a look at this. Yeah, this is them in Irpin, which we weren't allowed to go because apparently there was Russians there. They were filming, okay, because it was a giant film set. I've forgotten these guys' names, something Kalashnis or something. But yeah, man, it was a film set. And of course, at a later date, yeah, Irpin and Butcher was opened up. And of course, at this point, the Hidden Hand had scattered their prop tanks around the place, where, of course, people took their selfies. I think that's it for this video. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.